Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Well guys, in IELTS listening part 3, sometimes the last 5 questions or the last 6 questions, they are matching. Students get confused. They don't know whether they should read the questions first or they should read the options first. Number 1. Number 2, there are so many options. By the time when you go through the options, the audio goes away from you. The audios escape from you, and then once again you start listening, and this is where you lose a couple of sacred marks. And these 2-3 correct answers can give you 8 band or 8.5, and you lose 8 to 8.5 band just because of that. Watch this video till the end. I will equip you with all the techniques which are essential to fight with this type of questions. Let's take a start. Okay guys, questions 25 to 30, and the questions are: what topic do Kathy and Graham choose to illustrate with each novel? So topic, and they choose to illustrate with each novel. Now, by the way, these are the novels of Dickens. So you don't need to read the novels. They are not important. All you need to do, you need to read the topics. Topics are most important. And what are they? Poverty. And always put your pencil on the right side. Never do like this. No. Here, when you just put your pencil here, I'm telling you a technical point, your eyes will read all the word. Okay, so all the time put your eyes at the end of the word, automatically you will read it. Poverty. Education. They will use different words for poverty, for education. Dickens travels. For travels they can use the word journey. Entertainment, they can use any other word. Crime and law. Wealth. Medicine. A woman's life. Now what you have to do, put your left hand finger over here. The Pickwick Papers, that's the first novel, and then move your pencil here to see which answer is appropriate for that. Now please listen to me carefully. They start. They say, "You're lucky, I did agree. Let's have a look." Okay, the first was the Pickwick Papers, published in 1836. It was very successful when it came out, wasn't it? And was adapted from the theatre straight away. Then they say, there is an interesting point, though, that there's a character who keeps falling asleep, and that medical condition was named after the book Pickwickian Syndrome. Right? So they say actually a medical condition. Now something which is related to that, they say there is a character who keeps falling asleep, and that medical condition was named after the book Pickwickian Syndrome. Oh, so why don't we use that as the topic and include some quotations from the novel, right? So we've got option G. What is that? What topic do Kathy and Graham choose to illustrate with each novel? So for Pickwick Papers, they are actually using that medicine. So option G will be the right answer. How do we understand it's medicine? Because they said there is an interesting point though, that there is a character who keeps falling asleep, and that medical condition was named after the book Pickwickian Syndrome. Alright, so that is that medicine. So option G will be the right answer. Okay, let's go on. Question number 26, Oliver Twist. Now we got to see what do they say about Oliver Twist. They said, right, next is Oliver Twist. There is a lot in the novel about poverty. Now you might think, oh, poverty. No. But you got to see what do they choose to illustrate. Okay, there is a lot in the novel about poverty, but maybe something less obvious. Kathy says, well, Oliver is taught how to steal, isn't he? We could use that to illustrate. That's what the question is. We could use that to illustrate the fact that very few children went to school particularly not poor children, so they learnt in other ways. Many children went to school, particularly not poor children, so they learnt in other ways. So, education, exactly. 26 is B, education. And for education, they use the word, they said that we could use that to illustrate the fact that very few children went to school, particularly not poor children, so they learnt in other ways. Alright, next 27, Nicholas Nickleby. What do they say about that? They say maybe Nicholas Nickleby, actually he taught in a really cruel school, didn't he? Graham says that's right. But there is also the company of touring actors that Nicholas joins. We could do something on theater and other amusements of the time. Amusement, exactly, theater and other amusements of the time. We don't want only the bad things to do we? So what is that? That is entertainment. I tell you how. Once again, company of touring actors that Nicholas joins. We could do something on theaters and other amusements of the time. Amusements of the time, that is entertainment. So D will be the right answer here. Is that clear? Good. Martin Chuzzlewit. All right. Martin Chuzzlewit. Let's see what do they say about that. They say, what about Martin Chuzzlewit? He goes to the USA, doesn't he? Kathy says yes. And Dickens himself had been there a year before and drew on his experience there in the novel. Right? So what is that? I mean, when they say he goes to the USA, going to USA is travel. Right? When they say he goes to USA, that means they're talking about travel, doesn't he? Yes. And Dickens himself had been there a year before. Means he traveled a year before and drew on his experience there in the novel. Ram says, I wonder though, the main theme is selfishness, so we could do something on social justice. No, too general. Let's keep to your idea. Your idea means travel. I think it would work well. So for this, we've got Dickens travels. For Martin Chuzzlewit, they are going to write C as the right answer. Is that clear? One more thing, whenever you select a right answer, it's a good idea to cross it immediately. If I'm going to cross them, then they will not confuse me. But you know, the audio is running fast and you got to do it all well. Now I'm only left with poverty, crime, wealth, and women's life. Let's go on. 29, Bleak House. Let's see what do they say about Bleak House. So they say, yes, mine too. His satire of the legal system is pretty powerful. Kathy says, yes, that's true. But think about Ether, the heroine. As a child, she lives with someone she doesn't know is her aunt, who treats her very badly. All right, so they are talking about that lady, Ether, the heroine. Okay, the heroine, and now you can understand. As a child, she lives with someone she doesn't know is her aunt, who treats her very badly. Then she is very happy living with her guardian, and he puts her in charge of the household, and at the end she gets married, and her guardian gives her and her husband a house where of course they are very happy. Now what is that bleak house? A woman's life. Exactly. That woman is heroine. Esther, the heroine, and then all about her life, she marries and all that, blah blah blah. So for bleak house, it's H. That's the right answer. Now Little Dorrit, and we got two options, crime and wealth. And by the way guys, you have to imitate me and you should try to solve your own tests like this. Okay, take a test, and once you find that there are the mistakes, then you can practice like this. Okay, Little Dorrit. Now they say, all right, what shall we take next? Little Dorrit? Old Mr. Dorrit has been in a debtor's prison for years. So was Dickens' father? Wasn't he? That's right. What about focusing on the part when Mr. Dorrit inherits a fortune? See that? Inherits a fortune. And now you can see that is wealth. So what about focusing the part when Mr. Dorrit inherits fortune, right? And he starts pretending he's always been rich. So that is F, and F is going to be the right answer, and this was only a trap. All the best, guys. I did it for you because I explained it. It took time, but gradually you will be able to pick all these things from the audio. And करके ना ज़्यादा बेहतर हो जाता है. Okay, welcome back. So guys, how are you feeling? Good? Video after video, if you do practice, you will feel great, and very soon you will reach 8+ band in IELTS listening. I also teach IELTS online. If you want to join my online IELTS classes, my WhatsApp number is given. You can contact me for that. Asad Yaqub truly wishes you all the best. Take good care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.